What is going on, you guys? It's your girl Diana, back at you with another YouTube video. Today I have another update for the upcoming Pokemon anime episode since we now have a description for our Captain Pikachu episode. So let's go ahead and hop into it.
Bye.
So as we already know, episode 6, which airs next week on May 12th, is the Ancient Pokeball, which is when the explorers who have their sights set on Liko and her pendant land on the island and stand in the way of the rising Volt Tacklers. Liko and Roy work together and put up a good fight with a combination of Sprigatito and Fuecoco, but Amicio and Cerulege close in on them. Just then, Liko's pendant shines again, and there's something strange going on with Roy's Ancient Pokeball. So this is where I was talking about how I think this is going to be our first terrestrialization in the anime, and we're probably going to see that shiny Rayquaza that we keep seeing in all the trailers that is terrestrialized and just kind of hanging out in the sky. Since in the little preview that we got for next week's episode, it showed Roy's Pokeball shooting a beam of light into the clouds, so I was like, listen, there is literally no way that this is not the shiny Rayquaza that's terrestrialized. And where my logic was going is that the reason that it's able to terrestrialize is because of Liko's pendant, which is a little Terapagos, so obviously they're working in tandem, since obviously Terapagos gives everything the ability to terrestrialize, so that's probably why Liko's pendant and Roy's Pokeball keep interacting whenever they're near each other. But something else that I mentioned last time that I love about this anime is that there is so much continuity between all of the different episodes. Like, it's not like an episodic anime where each episode is like its own little storyline. It's an actual full-blown storyline that we can follow along with as an audience from start to finish. Because obviously from this description for what's supposed to happen in next week's episode, Sprigatito and Fuecoco are gonna have a battle with Cerulege, which from the little preview trailer, they were getting wrecked, which, I mean, are we surprised? They're little baby starter Pokemon and one of them is quite literally a grass type. But episode 7, which is supposed to air on May 19th, was titled Special Training Captain Pikachu, which initially I thought that this episode was going to center around Captain Pikachu and maybe give him some backstory, show how he became the Pikachu that he is. But we now have an actual description for what's gonna happen. And this is where the continuity that I was talking about comes into play, because this is what the description says here. It says, as the rising Volt Tackler's journey continues through the skies, Liko and Roy decide to train under Captain Pikachu in order to get better at Pokemon battling. Which I'm sure that they want to because they were probably getting wrecked by Cerulege. It also says neither Sprigatito nor Fuecoco are even remotely a match for the overwhelmingly strong Cap. Once again, I'm not surprised. They're little baby starters and neither Liko or Roy have a lot of experience training or battling. So it seems like this is going to be the start of their training arc. We're going to start seeing them improve slowly but surely, which also gives me hope for us maybe seeing their Pokemon actually evolve, because I feel like throughout all of Ash's journey, obviously a lot of the starters just stayed in their initial forms. None of them actually ended up evolving. Like Pikachu, Piplup, the list goes on. There's a ton more that didn't evolve. Eevee in the latest anime. But since they're actively training and trying to get better and they're training under Captain Pikachu, which we've already seen how good Captain Pikachu can actually be, it gives me hope that they will end up evolving their Pokemon in order for themselves to become stronger. So I hope that they kind of break away from that whole not evolving the starter thing. But then it says, the training makes Liko realize something, which that is very ambiguous and I have no idea what that's leaning towards. What is she gonna realize? But we do have a couple of screen grabs, it seems like. We have Captain Pikachu looking like an absolute champ. And we also have this one of Liko, Roy, Sprigatito, and Fuecoco just kind of vibing on the floor. I'm sure they probably just had a hard battle and they're resting. But why does it say I want to fly? What's happening? Wait, I literally just saw the caption up top that says I want to fly, which I'm assuming is supposed to be a translation for the caption at the bottom. So now I'm even more lost and confused. Who's flying? Hello? Neither of them can fly. Maybe because they're in the airship? I don't know. But besides the very ambiguous ending where it says the training makes Liko realize something, I feel like this is definitely going to be more of a quote-unquote fillery type episode, in between big battle scenes where they're just kind of training and getting better. So in this episode specifically, I don't think anything big is going to happen, especially since in next week's episode, the one with the Ancient Pokeball, I feel like that is going to be a big thing that happens, since they're focusing so much on the Pokeball and the fact that Liko's pendant and the Pokeball keep interacting and the Pokeball is finally gonna open during that episode. So I feel like this episode is gonna be more of like a calm and relaxed one just to kind of tide us over until we move into the following episodes. Because the episode after episode 7 is Mystery of the Unopening Door, which I thought that was gonna be something that had to do with Area 0, but some people also mentioned the Ruinous Pokemon, since those are technically locked behind like the big metal doors too that you have to open with the stakes. So I feel like it kind of makes sense for us to have like a more fillery type episode before we jump back into like a new situation. Since the next couple of episodes are definitely going to center around like Paldea and the lore around Paldea, since after episode 8, we're getting episode 9, which is titled Arrival in Paldea, and in episode 10 is when we get introduced to Nimona, my girl, and Brassius, and it says "and" at the end, so I'm assuming someone else from the video game. But that is all of the information that we have for now on episode 7 of Pokemon Horizons. Hopefully, as we get closer to episode 7's air date, we get a couple of more sneak peeks as to what exactly is gonna go down during this episode, because I really want to know what Liko's realizing, because right now she's sounding a lot like Kylie Jenner and is just out here realizing things. But leave a comment down below what you think she's gonna realize in this episode. But that's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, I kindly suggest that you consider subscribing so that I can continue to make content for you guys. And if you are already subscribed and you would like another way to support the channel, feel free to check out the merch store. There is a link down below in the description that takes you to not only my merch store, but also all of my other socials, so you can keep up with what I'm doing on a daily basis. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to those of you who have joined the channel as members. I appreciate you all so much. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.